Just heard a news report on the radio about recovery in Florida. It's so funny. It's like another one of those things that, like, you know, some of us can see. Whereas, like, they purposely slap them with that. They've had the ability to start, stop, control, and move those kind of weather events since, what, the 1940s? You know? They're hitting them, you know, because the guy down there has been stepping out of line. You know, I don't understand why these kind of things happen, like, because they're all on the same team, like, and they're all, you know, so when you have someone go rogue, I wonder how that happens. Like, I wonder how, you know, because it's not like a separate state. It's not like a, do you know what I mean? Like, how does that happen? I don't know. But it's clear what they did, you know. They slapped them with that. You know, most people aren't ever going to put that together. If you tried to explain that to them, you know, you look absolutely schizo. And I understand why. You know, I would have thought, I guess, the same thing, you know, less than maybe 10 years ago, if someone had tried to explain that to me as well. But that's absolutely what happened. In some countries, they have a guaranteed weather for weddings. I know in Greece they were doing that, where you can pay to make sure that it doesn't rain, you know. I mean, the technology is used in commercial application. It's just weird. Like, people just can't put these things together. The DOT, the diggity dot, the Global Consciousness Project is a thing where they measure what the global consciousness supposedly is, how people are feeling. I've never really looked into how they say they determine that. I'm sure it's a bit nebulous, but you know, I always say that those with divinity are connected by a consciousness, and we are affected by it, what we put into it, what we take out of it. So I don't know how closely that is aligned with that, or if that is indeed perhaps what it is. You know, I don't know enough about it, except that whenever it does something odd, people tend to make a big deal about it. It usually hovers around, I guess if it was the top was 100%, it usually hovers around 60%. You know, but yesterday, depending on what day I posted, so I don't know, but I was going to say yesterday, it fell off a cliff. Like, it completely dropped down to zero. You know, the consciousness, which usually the lower it goes, the idea is the more distressed the global consciousness is, or people are, and man, you know, before I even saw that, I was kind of feeling it. So I think there's something to it. I'm not one of those the people that is, you know, I'll see people that say, oh wow, and things are really crazy, I'm feeling all this stuff. I don't usually get that, but yesterday I did. I was feeling a lot of anger. It was really weird. You know, I'm usually in a pretty good mood. My life's pretty fucking awesome. You know, I got to, I'm very blessed, and I got to thank God every day that, you know, I'm in the situation I ended up in, when most people in my life told me I was going to be in a different situation. So I'm really blessed and really lucky to have the life I have. So yeah, I was just like fucking antsy, upset, having trouble sleeping. And then I saw that stuff and I said, wow, I wonder if that is what I'm feeling. Because however it's tied to you, if it is at all, it fell off a fucking cliff. I mean, I'll put the thing on the screen here. It went back up, and then later in the day, it plunged again. Now, I don't know what that means. I looked into it as far as a problem with the site. There was no problem. There was no, you know, the connectivity of their servers or whatever didn't go down. So, yeah, it's measuring something. Now, it could be coincidence that I was just feeling that way yesterday. I rarely do feel that way. I'm usually pretty happy. I mean, I got nothing to complain about. But yeah, it was quite odd. It's quite odd. And like I said, I know there is a consciousness that we all feel from and take from and give to and pass messages along to each other and ourselves, even on a subconscious level, or mostly on a subconscious level, that exists. I just don't know how you would measure something like that. You know, I know there are people that are a bit more tuned into those kind of feelings or those kind of fluctuations. And how closely it's tied to the Schumann residencies, the Schumann residencies, which I think is that for me it seems a bit more legitimate, or because of it's measuring the sound of the earth, the ohm of the earth, or whatever the hell that is, a dial tone, people refer to it sometimes. And that took a big jump in 2012, and then again in 2016. And I guess the idea is it ties into a lot of or it ties directly into how your real self is, you being, again, energy being, and your frequency. When it made that big jump in 2016, a lot of things changed. I mean, politically, it was a turbulent time, of course, in the U.S., but it's also when a lot of those crazy activists kind of came out and started doing a lot of stuff. Well, I mean, that's just one thing. You know, a lot of things happened that year. But for me, that was the beginning of the trip in earnest. Like, hey, wait a minute. You know, there's something afoot at the Circle K, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what those two things, if the Schumann resonance has any connection to the DOT project, the Global Consciousness Project. But yeah, there's definitely stuff going on. I mean, it's just the nature of the time we live in. You know, it's shit's fucked, bros. You know, I don't think that even has to be said. I'd like to learn more about that Global Consciousness Project. I probably should have looked into it a bit more before I start yapping my fucking mouth about it. But, you know, as they say, hindsight is 60-40. I hope everybody's doing alright. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.